Yeah, the future of digitalization. I think we are going into a new stage now. It's about the race to the world operating system. So what does that mean? Usually we know operating systems from our computers or from our smartphones. And I believe we are connecting the world so much that we create an operating system for the whole planet. Let's have a look. So there's a very famous sentence saying all that can be digitalized will be digitalized. It's a HP person who said that. So that is very easy said, but when you think about it, what does it really mean? When really everything will be digitalized that can be digitalized. Let's have a look. So at the moment, we are all a little bit more digital than last year because the pandemic let us use all these new tools. Let us use Teams, Zoom. We are doing a lot of home office now, and we realize when we are good connected with our company and when we are don't. So we're using all these different tools, and it's getting part of our lives, especially our private lives and our business lives. And data is becoming more and more the oil of the 21st century. So what does it mean? It means you can make a lot of money by using your data in a good way. There are platforms everywhere that are professionals in using all the data, like YouTube for the videos, Facebook putting together, connecting a lot of people worldwide, and systems like our smartphone operating systems like Android. They're collecting a lot of information to make our lives easier and to offer totally different new services, like Google, who's giving us services related to mobility that is not connected in the past to a smartphone. Why is it so successful? Because these companies working hard to make it so easy for us to use their services, like the iPhone. Windows was very far with their own operating system for the smartphone. But I think most of you never used Windows Mobile 2003 because it was just a nightmare. And although Microsoft was so advanced in their technology, the iPhone was able to just rip off Microsoft and create a totally new market and be the leader for the smartphone, just because they make the service that is easy to use for customers. And there are a lot of platforms out there going in different directions, from mobility, from hotellery, payment, whatever you can think of. There's an app, there's a platform, there's a service making this digitally better. And a lot of traditional industries are very afraid. Some of them already lost their business, and some knew their business will be lost, like the taxi, afraid of Uber, disrupting all the industry. So in the past, there are a lot of traditional companies, a lot of small companies, big companies, and they now all come together in one app, replacing all the businesses. So what's the next step? To make it even more crazy connected. Do it like China. They put all these different services, all these apps from Facebook, Google search, payment, taxi, they put it all just in one app. And then you just need that one app to get in contact with all these services. So we came all the way from traditional companies to platforms, different platforms with very special needs they provide and solve solutions. And now we come to just one single app putting all the features in that you need for your life. That is a little bit crazy, but that's the way that's going. And you can see Facebook is now thinking about integrating payment into their service. They're thinking about putting e-commerce in there. So they're learning from China now how they can create a very broad ecosystem and to offer a variety of services to all their customers, to use their data, to make better experience, and to make it easier for customer to use it. So that was more the private area with special services. But what about the cities we are living in? Everybody's talking about smart cities. How can we make public service better? How can we make transportation better? How can we make logistics better? How can we get rid of all these traffic jams? And it all comes down to new technology and a lot of data. Here's an example from the city of Songdo. It's a Korean city, 150,000 people are living there, and it's built up from scratch using a lot of very sophisticated digital technology to make life easier for the people. In this city of 150,000 people, there are just 15 people working in the waste department, collecting all the waste from all the people living there, recycle it, using energy out of the waste. 15 people. In traditional cities, you need 10 times more people or 100 times more people just to do this service that they are doing in this fully digitalized city with a very good technology. And there are companies providing services to give these very special things out of the box, like Huawei. You can buy an airport totally digitalized from Huawei. You can have a train station or a whole train system digitalized from Huawei. They're putting in all the technology you need, and you have a working service. It's the same with the, when you think about universities or schools, they can be totally digital, and there are companies providing that service. You just have to use it. So all the companies think that they're very good business opportunities because customer might like that. So I don't know if you heard about Sidewalk Toronto. At the moment, I talked a lot about Chinese companies or Korean, like Asian companies or Asian governments doing a lot of digitalization. But of course, Silicon Valley never sleeps. So Google decided to buy a whole part of the city, a part of Toronto, an old industrial area, to build their own very smart city. So they try out which services work, what the customers want. They learn a lot, they connect a lot, and trying out totally different ways to run a city. Because they realize we need these ideas, these technologies in the West too. How to make cities better, more connected, more data-driven. But what about your business, the economy? What are you doing? How are you getting connected to all these different things? There's a buzzword out there, it's Industry 4.0. It's the way how you connect inside your own company, connect different areas in the production, but the production with sales, production with logistics, bring you closer to customers, bring you closer to suppliers. And you need a variety of tools, things, and infrastructure to make that happen. You bring all this area together and make your company more efficient. That's a lot of work for sure, because you have to connect all your different machineries, make all the data great, and it's a lot of effort to get all the people on the boat, that you're working on the team on making your company more digital. And of course, there are platforms too in the industrial area. Like this one, it's from Bosch. It's a way to connect all your machinery inside your production, and they make it open so that it's easier for other people, for other companies to use the same service, offer additional service to integrate in the production. Or another thing, it's about creating. It's about making the best design of your products, making the technology work. So you need computer-aided design. That's an old story, sure. But how to make it that you can work along the whole supply chain, that you can integrate your customers, that you prepare all the models, the 3D models online, that you can show it to them, they can give feedback. You can get your suppliers in. They just put your models, their models in your model to make it the whole system. That's the new way, and there are new challenges, because you have to decide which technology do we want to use, which software do we want to use, which standards do we want to use to bring this all together. And I think when you're a very big company like Volkswagen, you can tell all your suppliers, oh, we just decided for this software. For us, it's the greatest thing we ever thought about. And you have like 1 week to adapt to the service. Otherwise, we will look for another supplier. Sure. For them, it's a little bit easier to integrate with their supply chain because, of course, they have more power. But maybe you are a small company and you are more flexible. You can go faster. You can try out different solutions. You can adapt better. You can make good suggestions to your customers, which software to use. So that's your opportunity at that point. And of course, SAP, standard software, it's getting more and more features of a platform, connecting suppliers, customers, all in one point. And another thing is like Alibaba. It's a platform where you can buy a lot of stuff, and I know a lot of people who just connect once to the platform and then buy it all on that way because it's easy. You plug into that platform, you don't have to connect to all your different suppliers. You just use that one. Everybody agrees about the standard, interacts, and then it's easy. But this is, on the other hand, it's a problem too. Not only that we all know, like Google, Apple, Microsoft, they are all the big players and they had a lot of power and you are dependent on them because you need their services. So that's a little bit scary. And it's very interesting that you have the same with Alibaba. And people like Jack Ma, they are aware of what's going on. So I got a very special line here. So you can see down there, Jack Ma has the idea that Alibaba, it's not a company anymore. It's just the whole economy. That sounds a little bit crazy, but on the other hand, that's true. Because it the turnover of Alibaba is bigger than the economy of Belgium, Switzerland, and in the future, maybe it could be bigger than the economy of Germany. So he's saying, wow, when I got so much turnover and I integrate all the partners so good, and I give them payment and all they need, and we have like regulations, and they can do their trade there. Oh, we must be an economy. So this is a totally new way of thinking of these digital tech companies. They are visionaries in a special way, thinking big in their services, which is on the one hand, it sounds a little bit scary, but on the other hand, it gives a lot of opportunities. And now when you think about all these things I told you about the smart city, with the city and the services and the people living there, and then on the other hand, the industry, the production facilities, the supply chains, logistics, and sales. And then you have the platform economy connecting all these different areas, doing e-commerce, a lot of data-driven stuff, a lot of connections to all the different players. Then you have something that's going all around the globe, connecting all companies, all countries, and all people. And then you have something like a real-world operating system. It's made of different software from different companies. One is from Microsoft, one is from SAP, one is from Huawei, one is from Alibaba. But at the end, all these different types of software, they all come together. They are all connected in a way. And this creates a whole system, the world operating system. But you have to be aware. There are not only pandemics with people getting viruses, have to take care of them. There's the risk of pandemics in that whole area too, like attacks, or something is not working properly, like Google. It was just for 45 minutes that their service didn't work globally anymore, but a lot of people realized how dependent they are on these special services. So we have to find ways to make this more secure. And I can tell you, there are a lot of people working on that. On a decentralized economy, on a decentralized world operating system. The Bitcoin is just an example because it's a system that works globally, decentralized. But there are industrial partners like Bosch working on special networks that are decentralized, Microsoft. So a lot of people are thinking about how you can make a system that works more decentralized, because they realize we're really creating a world operating system and that must work very good and very safe. So people working on that to solve these problems. So what can you do now? In my opinion, it's very important that you continue connecting to your customers, connecting to your workforce, connecting to suppliers, connecting to platforms, and make this system work. Because there is no way you can stand outside this system, because nobody will find you. You must be in this global system, connecting yourself to the world. And you can decide which one of the services you want, you can decide, wow, I want to be more independent. I use an open source solution and connect there. That's okay. Or you say, wow, I think Microsoft is doing a great job in connecting there. The thing is, it's just important that you continue connecting and make your business great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this, let me say, short vacation in the future. May I ask a personal question first of all? I think we have the time, don't we? Like have a short look at the watch, because I thought it was so interesting what you were telling, and it was like so complex. But what I was wondering all the time was, how do you feel about the scenario that you created? Is it making you feel excited? Is it making you feel like a bit overwhelmed maybe? How do you feel about like all that can be digitalized will be digitalized with everything that has to follow then?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. At first, I'm very excited because I think it makes our life a lot of better. We can save find solutions to save energy, to protect our environment, helping people to get out of their poor lives, give them better services in healthcare, better education. So there's a lot of very exciting things. And on the other hand, we have to take care of the obstacles, like that there may be people that get a lot of power or companies that get very powerful. So we have to find solutions for that, and we are working on that. So I think there are problems, but a lot of people are working on that to make it better and to solve these obstacles. So yeah, most of the time I'm very excited.
That is just the right mindset, I suppose, because the future is coming, right? We cannot avoid it, so it's better to be excited about it and looking positive at it. I got another personal question, but let's have the questions from the audience first.
Yeah, from the audience, we have a very interesting question. With all these technology easily available, what is your opinion about the danger and risks in terms of confidentiality and privacy of data information sharing?
That's a very important point. And we can see that there are different approaches in different areas of the world. Like the Americans and the Chinese, they are very flexible about the protection of our data. So on the one hand, they can offer great services and they are able to maybe react very fast to the pandemic, like in China. But on the other hand, we realize that data protection is very important, and that's why we have a data protection in Europe is very good and it's growing, and there are a lot of countries learning what we are doing, and that you can bring these two worlds together, use a great service, and on the other hand protect the data. So a lot of other countries learning and trying to integrate these ideas. Americans are very keen to learn what we are doing in the European Union and how to protect data better, because they realize too, it's not only the service, but this information can be stolen. So there must be a good protection that they cannot be misused.
We have one more question, don't
yes,
we? Okay, so I have to wait with my personal one.
So another one from the audience, and it's about big companies like Amazon. Some believe that big companies are too powerful and that politicians need to intervene to regulate these companies. What is your opinion about that?
I think it's a good point to think about that, but there's one dilemma. I think to make a very great service, it's important to connect a lot of people and to have all people in one platform. So when you, on the one hand, you don't want these big companies because there's a risk of power. And on the other hand, you need all the data in one place, that one group or one company or however you name it, is working with the data to give a service. That's a little bit the problem or the dilemma on the area. And that's the solution to that is the new ideas about decentralized economy, like the Bitcoin system. It doesn't belong to one person, but they create a whole ecosystem that it's coherent, that's working together. And there are services like YouTube using the same technology, having like an online video database where all the people can put in their information and their videos and you can watch them. But it doesn't belong to one company. It belongs to a lot of different companies, but they all work on the same code base. They all work on the same platform. And I think that's the future, where you can have all people, all companies in one place, in one platform, but you don't have the risk that this platform belongs to one company. And I think that's the future.